back in, knock out the intro, and then get started.
All right.
All right, everyone's muted. Right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Focus TV. Oh man, fun times. Technical difficulties, always a little bit of fun, but we're so happy to be here with you guys tonight. Once again, what I said in the dry run open that we had before, we had to restart things. Just want to go ahead and extend our prayers and thoughts to all those family affected by COVID-19, especially those that have lost loved ones to it. Obviously, in today's age, everyone makes, not everybody makes national headlines when they lose a loved one. So we're not going to call anybody out individually or anything like that, but just once again, just want to extend our thoughts and prayers to all of those going through this on a very, very personal level. And once again, please listen, stay indoors, take care of yourselves and your families. Please continue to be safe. We got Octavia White here tonight, Raymond Lyons, Cardell Dudley Jr., and Wilson Tarvey Jr., and our very special guest joining us tonight. The last time you were here, man, it's been a little while. So welcome back. But let's go ahead and get you get your proper introduction with someone with the resume that you have. So former DeMatha Hoop standout, McDonald's All-American Game, Jordan Classic, former Maryland Terrapin, Think First founder and CEO, Mr. Travis Garrison. Travis, thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. How are you doing?
Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. Very grateful. I don't take no opportunities for granted. I just thank you all for the opportunity to be able to speak with you guys and just talk about my book. So thanks for being here. Hope everybody's staying safe. And, prayers go out to the family that did lose loved ones or those who are affected by COVID-19. We gotta be better and stay safe and do the best we can.
All right. So as you said, you're here to discuss your new book, The Crossover. Man, so you got a tough panel tonight. So many of us, a lot of veteran interviewers here, have a lot of questions for you, but to kick things off, from the last time you were in studio to this point right now, where did inspiration come? Where, the thought pop in your mind? At what time, all right, I want to choose to write a book? It's not a task everybody just decides to go down that lane.
Exactly. Honestly, when I did my first book, Never Satisfied, back in 2011, I kind of just did that out of, trying to help other young players and parents. And after I did that book, a few people came to me and said, you have a few more books in you. I was like, I don't see how that's possible. I never saw myself as being an author, but also always wanted to help other people, especially the younger generation of student athletes. It's funny with this book, I actually started the foundation of it in 2013. So I had it. I had, the literature already, mapped out. I actually was in Greece and I was on a road trip and I was just kind of chilling, but I also was, looking for ways to try to help the younger kids. Kind of like, right now, basketball taught me so many life lessons. And I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to be able to teach that to younger kids at a young age instead of waiting for them to, get old or get older into their adults, into their, 18, 19. Why not just figure it out at a younger age? But I just didn't know what to do with it. It actually was supposed to be a curriculum. I was creating a curriculum. So I was working on that for 2 years. I brought a professor on board late last year. she recommended that I turn into a kid's book. And I was against it at first because I've been working on the curriculum and trying to get a curriculum for 2 years. And she was just telling me how making it into a book will go much further. And it can reach more kids and more people. You know, a lot of kids, unfortunately, can't attend basketball camps and things of that nature. And then trying to get a curriculum into a camp would be a lot harder than I think. So she just said, I think I should start out with the book. And then later on, somebody still can turn it into a curriculum, which I actually end up doing. I actually have online courses that I turned this book into online courses as well. So, you know, something God put in my heart to do a while ago, man, and it actually just turned into a book now. But I've been sitting on it for about 7 years.
All right. Next question. Who's up next, guys?
Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead.
Okay.
Travis, you break down each chapter by skill, detailing different life lessons based on the development of that skill. Tell us the concept behind that.
I was trying to find a unique way to relate the game of basketball to life where a kid can understand it. You know, kind of like for a kid, the kid could be 7 years old, 8 years old. I wanted to kind of make a parallel line. You know, Coach Wooten used to teach us a lot of life lessons and, you know, use basketball analogies as well. So I was trying to find a way to kind of tap into what the kids are interested in. You know, a lot of kids learn, you know, how to count or how to do different things at a younger age by, you know, their parents may let them play with blocks, but they learn how to count or different shapes and things of that nature. So I was trying to use something that the kids would enjoy, which is, you know, it could be basketball, or use that skill and kind of like relate it to life. So I would take like, you know, rebounding and talk about the foundation of rebounding. But pretty much when kids start playing basketball, the first thing they learn is fundamentals. So the first thing they should learn is fundamentals. You know, the passing, dribbling, rebounding, shooting, those things of that nature. And I basically just draw a parallel line to life, you know, rebounding, you know, bouncing back from adversity. When things don't go your way, how can you bounce back? Things of that nature. So I just wanted to use different terms that they're already going to be using anyway, and just say you use the same skills, the same tools at home, at school, and in life in general.
Okay.
Are there any like semi-autobiographical situations in the book that you use, maybe like something you went through personally, just to trying to correlate the lesson between, you know, basketball and everyday life?
Pretty much what I did try to use a number of different things. I may have used, for example, I tell stories a lot to people about how, you know, coaches always tell us in the game, you know, the game's not over till the final buzzer. You know, you've seen that a lot of times in games where there's a second left or 2 seconds left on the clock, and the team think they won it, and then the other team get the ball and throw a Hail Mary or a half-court shot and end up winning the game. So I pretty much, you know, I tell the analogy sometimes about, you know, when we were down by 20 against NC State in AC tournament in 2004. We were down by 20 at halftime. You know, we could have gave up, you know, throwing the towel. A lot of our fans end up leaving the arena. But if we would have gave up, you know, who knows how the tournament would have turned out for us. But by us persevering, getting back, bouncing back from adversity, we ended up coming back, winning that game, and ended up winning the whole tournament. So it was kind of like I do use some of my personal experiences and show them like I actually went through this. You know, a lot of stuff I deal with. How I deal with life now. There's a lot of stuff I learned through basketball. You know, whether it's, you know, succeeding at one point and then failing at another point. Then how do I bounce back from that? You know, so that was the whole point. I use my personal experience to try to help these younger kids through their journey now.
Okay. So how difficult do you think it was for you to be able to correlate certain parts of the game with the real world? Like, and you use, for example, as an example, rebounding and bouncing back. Was it hard to find good analogies to kind of get your point across? I guess the whole scope of it.
Not really, honestly. You know, when I was coming up there, I actually was talking to a good friend of mine, Sam, and we were, you know, I kind of bounced some ideas to him, and he was just showing me different ways I could relate it to life. But not really. You know, I think I was trying to. My whole point and my objective was trying to make it as black and white, as clear as possible for these young kids at any age. Like I said, maybe 6 years old, but they could be able to understand it. You know, like I was saying, you know, a lot of parents teach their kids at a younger age, you know, counting or shapes and things of that nature. So I was trying to do something like that, but use something that they may be interested in. You know, a lot of kids don't like reading. So I was like, well, maybe if I can, you know, use something that they like, which is basketball. They going to talk about fundamentals anyway. You know, they could be at camp and learn about passing and rebounding. And then they go home and still go back over passing and rebounding, but also learn about something they can use at school and at home, something I think parents would really appreciate.
I know a lot of times with subject matter like this, you know, the focus is a lot on, you know, bouncing back from adversity and, you know, pushing through tough situations. Is there any parts of the book where you touch on like celebrating triumphs and relishing in the good times?
I believe I do touch on moments like that. Like I said, I definitely didn't want it to be something like nothing negative. You know, when I was talking about shooting, like don't pass up opportunities. You know,
Right.
Take your shot. You know, don't be scared. You know, somebody that's has a goal. I talk about things about. Say if you got a game on Friday, and you want to be elite and be prepared for that game on Friday. You want to practice. Then the players that want to be good and be successful during that game, they don't get extra shots up after practice. No, nothing gonna do that all the way until the game time. So when game comes, you got that confidence. You're ready. Same thing goes for school. I got a test on Friday. What you gonna do? You got to put the work in. You got to put that extra work in. So when you're going down with the test come on Friday, you're walking in with that confidence. But if you're not prepared, you're gonna fail. So it's kind of like I wanted to use positivity as well. I know it's nothing in the sense of negative or bouncing back for versus like pretty much opportunities, taking a shot, passing good energy, being positive. And you know that stuff in basketball. Being a good teammate. I've been in situations where being a good teammate, I've seen the outcome of that, or being a positive coach. Yeah, you can criticize those ways you go about doing it and how you get your players to be able to react in a positive way. So I've seen the goods and the bads of both sides. So my whole point is like you can be positive, you can pass good energy, whether it's on the court, whether it's in class, or whether it's just in life. Being positive, just that energy, So
Yeah, definitely.
Your shooting chapter, you touch on checking emotions. In this social media area, emotions can fluctuate based on the content people may see or take in. And I feel controlling emotion is most pivotal to us black men for a number of reasons. What advice would you give a young hooper who is frustrated with being overlooked and when it comes to rankings and offers?
Man, I love that question, man, because I actually, when I was speaking not too long ago, a kid talked about that. Being overlooked, he's going into his senior year, and he wasn't getting any scholarship offers, or the rankings part. That ranking stuff, man. I seen guys that wasn't ranked high. Andre Iguodala, perfect example. He played in the Jordan Classic with me, but he wasn't ranked high.
Yep.
But he's a champion in the league, still in the league. He's my age. You got Jared Jack. He didn't play in the McDonald's All-American game. Played in the Jordan Classic, but wasn't really ranked high. You go back to Carmelo Anthony, for example. Our sophomore year, I think he was top 100. We were 1 and 2 in the area. Then going into our junior year, he went from top 100, top 50 to end up being like the top 5 player in the country in the summertime. You know what I mean? So that ranking stuff, I tell kids, use it as motivation. I was ranked high in high school, but I also had that mentality in the sense of I knew dudes were going to try to come at me because of that. So I kind of use that stuff as motivation to work harder and also not let my guard down. And people that's not ranked, they should use that as motivation as well. Forget the rankings. Use that as a chip in your shoulder, fuel in the tank. You're not thinking overlooked. Get back in the gym and work hard. I tell kids a lot of times they focus on, how many points can I get? Man, look at me dudes in the NBA right now just getting money and getting paid off of this rebound. Dennis Rodman made come on, man. He's a Hall of Famer off of rebounding and hustling. Come on, man. You know what I mean? So
They didn't care about
Exactly.
sports.
So we have so many different examples of how you can be successful without being the man. You know, I went to Cleveland's mini camp. I think like 2007, 2008. The guy, one of the coaches said, "Look here, we ain't looking for nobody to score. We got LeBron for that. We got LeBron for that. So you got to be able to know your role, rebound. You know, if you get that ball, you hit the open shot. But we ain't looking for no scores right now. You got LeBron for that. So you just got to know your role. Pick your poison. A lot of kids not looking to be a hustler, rebounder. You know, diving for loose balls. Be that person. Then you gonna get the looks because coaches look for that and they want that. Bruce Bowen, you know, he ended up being the Spurs off the defense, but he also was a scorer when he was overseas. So I mean, you got so many different examples. I tell kids, man, don't even look at stuff like that. Yes, it's good, you know what I mean, for pride reasons, but man, you, as long as you're working your butt off, you do what you have to do, you know, things gonna take care of itself.
All right, one of the things, you know, just it's one thing to want to try to like reach out like across generations, right? And just some of the things you guys were just bringing up, some of the players you were just mentioning, that wasn't anything new or surprising to some, like mostly everybody. You were of the same age group. That wasn't anything new. It wasn't anything weird to hear. Now you say those things and it's like, what you mean? You know, like people are looked down for, I don't know, doing something as courageous as, I don't know, accepting their role, fitting in with the team, things of that nature. So when you're doing something like this, where you want to try to reach out and educate and encourage this younger generation, how is that for you? Kind of like, how are you able to bridge the gap and kind of where? Because it's a lot of the stuff where we got early on that's very relevant today that kind of got just like washed over and thrown out the way in place of, you know, what Cardell was about, the social media era and, you know, everything just being like the microwave version of everything.
Man, I kind of meet them where they're at. You know, like you said, it's a younger generation. I tell kids all the time, man, that social media stuff, you know, it's hard because they grew up on it. We didn't have that when we were growing up. We didn't have all this social media and all this stuff that they have now. So it's just kind of like, it's more so I got to just meet them where they're at, you know, seeing what's more relatable, what's more reality to them than it was for me. I can't be like, oh, man, I was like this, and you guys got to be like that. I can't do that, you know, so it's more so I got to tap into that. It was kind of difficult for me because with the younger generation, I have kids, but they're not really on social media. They don't really have all that. They don't really have it. So I kind of have to like learn more about it, but I see how kids react to conversations I have with them, the questions that they have. So it's kind of like I don't want to just like go right at them and be like negative, like, man, you got to do this. No, I meet them where they at. We have a conversation. What are their concerns? How can I help? Look, this is what it made me successful. Look, this is how I failed. This was my downfall. So I kind of share my experiences with them, hear them out, then we find a solution to that. You know, I think a lot of times people don't really listen to the younger generation. They kind of more just want to teach them, whereas I think they have a lot more to say. They live in a different times than we do. So I think if we want to teach them, but we should hear where they come from, and then we share our experience, and then we kind of like meet in between, you know?
And just to kind of piggyback off that, like during your high school career, obviously you reach pretty much the highest level, you know, playing in the McDonald's game, went to a story program like DeMatha and experienced a lot of success. But then when you went to college, you know, the grind just starts all over again, you know, and another lesson that kids today I've seen have an issue with is, you know, just kind of, you know, starting over once they reach another level. What advice do you give to those guys? Or have you had any conversations with maybe some top prospects that kind of had a rough transition from high school to college in a different level of competition?
I'm you know, a couple of kids I mentor now. One that's at George Mason now, and then one that's going to Missouri. I kind of just tell them like, look, it starts all over. Whatever you achieve, you know, back in high school, it don't even matter. Like I said, like a lot of stuff I had to learn on my own through my own experiences. You know, me going from being a McDonald's All-American, going to Maryland, they don't care about none of that. Me coming in at DeMatha, being ranked number 2 8th grade in the country, going into DeMatha, I'm thinking like, oh man, I got a little swag. I go there. You got Keith Bogan, Joe Forte, they number one, number two in the country. They don't care about all that. It's more so, what are you gonna do now? When you get to college, okay, you achieved this in high school. What are you gonna do now? You know, yeah, I was a McDonald's All-American. I didn't get drafted into the NBA. So there's a lot of guys that was McDonald's All-American that didn't get drafted into the NBA. So it's not like, you know, a lot of times you guys thinking like, oh, I'm a McDonald's All-American, I'm good. What was the last thing you did? Okay, I scored 30 last game. Okay, what you gonna do this game? You know, that's a lot of the coaches or the scouts. That's what they look at. You know, don't look at your past success. What are you doing right now? And that's what's just keep you the hunger going. That's what makes the great. The Michael Jordans. You know, those who always wanted to be the great every year. That's why I think when they had the conversation about, you know, the LeBrons and the Michael Jordans and all that, I'm like, look, Michael Jordan was the best in the league every year he played when he was at his highest. You know, and that's what made him different because he had that hunger. He like, I'm going to be the best, so he put the work in. Kobe Bryant had that mentality, he put the work in. So I just think that's what I tell kids, man. I say, look, you know, because I've been there, done that. You have to appreciate what you did that night in that game. The next day is a whole different ball game. It's a new day. When you're in high school, you were successful. You get to college. Okay, you in high school, you wasn't successful. You get to college and you kill it. Big Dollar Depot. He had an okay high school career. Then he got to college and he killed it. You know what I mean? So you have different people that killed it in high school, went to college, and you know, I didn't have a great career in college. You know, so it's, you know, you know, I give examples like that. I give them real life examples, and I try to share with them real life experiences that I've been through personally. You know, so.
And the pivot chapter, you break down avoiding pitfalls on and off the court, so that your goals can be obtained. It's easier to navigate around a bad peer, so to speak, you know, a teammate, something like that, a friend. What if the individual negatively affecting you is a parent? You know, I've had college coaches talk to me off wax about a player they may be interested in, but don't want to deal with the parent. So they move on. The kid loses out. What advice would you give to the young player and parents to avoid hurting the future of the said player?
Man, with this book, I talk to the player, but it's also for the parent too. You know, same thing with my first book, Never Satisfied. I talk to the player, but I also talk to the parent, because the parent, like you said, the parent dictates what happens in that kid's life, who they bring around that kid, what AAU team they play for. So I tell people all the time, a lot of times, be a single parent mom, the dad's not involved. A lot of times these coaches become the dad to the kid, and they end up having more influence on the kid than the parent. So I tell parents all the time, do your homework, you know, if you can. And that's why I'm trying to be more involved as much as I can, if I'm needed, to try to help parents. Because my mom was like that. She didn't know. My brothers played basketball. They were good, but they didn't excel as much as I did. So when you're getting recruited from colleges, it was different. She wasn't prepared for that. She's a single parent mom, not knowing what the ins and outs of the business of basketball is. So it's more so I try to talk to the parent, like you can really ruin your kid's life. A lot of parents try to live vicariously through the kid, trying to live out their dreams. So I tell a lot of parents, you know, you kind of just got to let the kid be the kid, and don't try to interfere, because like you said, man, a lot of coaches like, look, I don't even want to deal with the parent. I'm good. I'm going past. So messing up their kids' future. So like you said, man, it's tough because I see a lot of parents doing it. And it's killing their kids' dreams. So I just try to, like I said, I be real with the parent. I tell them, like you said, give them personal experiences or experiences what coaches say, and say this is how it really is. Now it's up to them. How do they want to carry it from there? You know.
Right. Man, this book sounds like you got a coach's mind. You ever gonna be on the sideline one day?
Hey man, look, you know, keep asking all the time. You know, I tell some of my friends as college coaches, I say I help. I come and be a liaison. Anytime you need it, I come and speak. You know, come through practice every now and then, help out. But you know, the energy that's needed. You know, but for real, I kind of want to be more of a. I want to travel the world and help out wherever I can. I don't want to really be stuck in one place. I think that the experiences that I have, the things that I've been through, needed to be shared with a lot of kids, a lot of parents. I just don't want to be just stuck in one place. You know, I like kind of want to maneuver. You know, like whether that's what I said with this book or me just going around and speak around the world. That's where I'm at with it. You know, so I'm coaching, but I'm just coaching at different places.
What would you say you would want the biggest takeaway from this book for readers that will read the book? Like, what do you want to be the biggest takeaway that they get after reading the book?
Oh man, to be able to not just be successful in sports, but even if they're not even playing sports, but they just use this book as an analogy in a sense to be able to be successful in life. You know, not avoid as many pitfalls as possible. You know what I mean? Life is going to bring whatever it's going to bring regardless. Nobody go through life squeaky clean in the sense of with no downfalls. That's just this life per you're going to get there. But we're not trying to mess up your life as much as possible with bad mistakes or bad choices. That's my biggest takeaway. My whole point with this book was not more so the sports aspect. I just used that because I think that just might catch the attention. But I was just more so focused on the life skills portion. You know, that's what I feel a lot of coaches now. Like, I mean, y'all got we got a ton of trainers out there. But what about what's happening to these kids when they get involved in things off the court, you know, or off the field? When they got to deal with real life, you know, the wrong influences, being around the wrong people, making the wrong choices. You know, you can work years and years to obtain a goal in the sense of getting a scholarship or getting an NBA contract, NFL contract, but one bad choice can ruin all of that. You know, so that's my main focus. You know, sports is good. You know, we got a lot of people that can focus on that. But I want to focus on what I think a lot of people are not focusing on. That's the life skills aspect.
All right, what we're gonna do real quick is take our first break of tonight. Again, we're speaking with Mr. Travis Garrison. Think First, talking about his latest book, The Crossover. You're watching the Focus TV. We will be right back.
They got it all that. Like, yeah, you got some gesture. So start doing it real quick. Put everybody. Let me start the stream real quick. Do this real quick. Let's try that up today. I might just get that joint.
Yeah.
What's up, Ronnie?
Need to upgrade.
Yeah, I think I'm about to do that real quick. I was just gonna say I'm about to tell them, just so I didn't want to start the audio real quick, and then Raymond's about to come back in. He had to log back out, so
Okay.
I'm just trying to give you a heads up. So I'm gonna do that real quick, because I don't even know if I'm gonna upgrade right now. I'm just probably gonna do. Probably what I'll do is just keep in mind that we'll take the break like 30 minutes into shows, and then I'll just restart it.
Okay, I got you.
So I'm gonna let them know real quick. So don't start the feed with our audio, if possible.
Say it again.
So I'm gonna tell them real quick. Is it still gonna be heard? Are people still gonna?
Okay, and turn the audio on.
Yeah, if you can, real quick.
Okay, I got
And I'll call you back when I got everything set back up. All right.
All right, just text me either way.
Okay, I got it. the crossover. You know, so we've been talking to you for a little bit, but I just want to ask Octavia, Raymond, Cardell, any more questions that you guys had?
I'm good.
I don't think I had anything else.
Cardell?
In other words, letting folks think they know your moves when in reality, you're moving in an entire direction totally. Entire a different direction totally, which keeps toxic people at bay. With so many people, especially adults, clout chasing these days and or acting like they're supporters of talent and youngsters, do you feel this lesson is utilized enough these days?
Hey, Cardell, can you say that one more time? I think I caught the tail end of it.
All right, what I said, probably my favorite lesson of the book is the pump fake. In other words, letting folks think they know your moves when in reality you're moving in an entire different direction totally, which keeps toxic people at bay. With so many people, especially those clout chasing these days and or acting like they care about the youngsters, but really they have their own agenda. Do you feel this lesson is utilized enough these days?
I don't think so. I just think a lot of people maybe they just don't know. You know, they just don't know what's what. You know, a lot of times they think people are genuine. A lot of people are good at thinking like they really care. You know, especially if you're a youngin', you really don't know. You know what I mean? Especially if you're good and you have so many people around you, you don't know what to expect. I didn't know what to expect. You know, I had a lot of different people that kind of come out and give me advice and do things for me, but you didn't know how to deal with that. So I think a lot of kids, a lot of people don't know how to handle that situation right now, and I think that's very vital for them to not let everybody know that every move. That's people, period. A lot of people, a lot of time, people maybe you think they cool with you, but they not. So you try to share your ideas or things you're trying to do, they might try to steal your idea. You know, things like that. You know, I think a lot of times people share too much information. Sometimes you can't let your right hand know what your left hand is doing type thing, you know?
Right. You obviously, like you said, a highly touted prospect coming out of DeMatha. You know, when we kind of came out of high school, it wasn't just dominate individually. You had to win games, you had to win championships for that spotlight to be on you, to get some airtime on TV stations or whatnot. Looking at the landscape of grassroots basketball currently, do you feel like it's overexposure for high school and AAU players these days?
Honestly, man, I be trying to. I don't really tune in as much, but it's a lot, man. It's like I always think I'd be curious to see what it'd have been like if it was like if we grew up in this era in the sense of everything was on. I guess we mixtapes and so much exposure. You know, highlight tape. It's a honestly, man. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. Man, like, man, I would overexposure. I don't know. I think
they're doing highlights on warm-ups though.
hey, dude, I be like, man, it's like some dudes got their own personal videographers, man. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I'm like, man, what does it take to be really big these days? Because everybody has a mixtape. Everybody looks nice. So what separates you out that whole group to make you that elite player that everybody's like, yo, he's the best dude in the class? Like, because everybody looks nice. Like, everybody gets mixtapes, they do a videos, a little graphics and everything. So what makes? So you have to be extra nice in order to be that dude, like that number one player in the country, like solidified across the board. Because this, like you said, there's so much video. Sometimes small areas, you might have a player in a small area that's nice. I'll say back in our days, you might have a nice player in a small area, but may not get noticed because they don't have that TV. They don't get that TV time. They have high school sports show. You know, but now because everybody mixtape things like that, now the people that's in that small towns, now people know who they are. Now people go see them or people go recruit them. So I think it could be really good in a lot of cases for those people in those small areas or may not have gotten noticed if it wasn't for the highlights or the mixtapes and things of that nature.
All right, talking about the difference. Go ahead, Cardell.
Go ahead. I'll finish up behind you.
All right. I was going to say, we literally are just talking about the difference in the climates between when you guys came up and what these kids are going through right now. So going to ask you this question. Do you think it'd be more challenging for you right now trying to navigate this?
Coming up the way I did, yeah, probably because, man, before I got ranked, before I found out I was ranked, I didn't know anything about rankings. I didn't know nothing about college basketball. I didn't know nothing about nothing. I grew up in Suitland, Maryland. Everything I knew was in that area. You know what I mean? I played ball in the local basketball courts. I didn't really go too many places. I played AAU, but I was just playing for the love of the game. I didn't know nothing about rankings until my AAU coach came up to me and showed me a book and said, "Hey, you the book." I didn't know nothing about it. Then I went to DeMatha. Dudes was talking about rankings and coaches. Like, I didn't know who coaches was. Dudes walking in the gym. Well, that's no kind of coach. I didn't know nothing about it. Nothing. I was just a kid that loved to play the game and was just doing it for fun. Like I said, growing up in a small town. I grew up in Suitland, so not having that access to a lot of things that a lot of kids have now, whether it's trainers or videographers. Period. It'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting to see. If I would have came up right now with the way things are. I don't know. It'd have been interesting, man. I'd have had to probably work a lot harder because I think things are more. There's a lot of players that's more noticed now because of, like I said, the videos and highlights and things of that nature. So you would definitely have to work a lot harder. You got a lot of kids that start at a young age now. So when kids, they make kids in elementary now, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, it's so much, man. Everybody got to train them, man. So you got. And I tell kids all the time, I say, look, man, how you gonna separate yourself between everybody else? Everybody got what you got now. Everybody got trainers. I ain't have no trainers growing up. I used to watch Michael Jordan tapes and things like that. I see what they doing. I go to the court and I try to imitate that. That was my trainer. Like, I learned that I went.
Exactly.
I learned that I went, man. I ain't know. I didn't ever. And I'm like, man, if I would have had a trainer, like a dude that can work on my skill, oh man, man, it's a different ball game. I still tell our kids, man, you gotta work, man. These kids start young. They got trainers and everything.
My last question for you is, coming out of DeMatha, you signed with Maryland as a top prospect. What are your current thoughts on the transfer portal, aka what I call college for free agents? Because I really feel like, not to cut you off, I really feel like dudes who may have been overlooked by bigger programs, I feel like they really signed with lower mid-majors, going in there with the idea, I'm going to put up numbers, so then I can hurry up and transfer to the big major. And obviously the high majors are like, well, they're proven. They understand what college is all about. They put up numbers. They can help us. Let's snatch them up. And that's leaving the low majors in limbo.
Mm-hmm. Man, I think the state of basketball right now, man, it's interesting, man. Like I said, man, it's hard to keep up with. It is, man, because like you said, like then some dudes like, man, I'm not even going to college. I'm just gonna go overseas and just get this money. Then I'm gonna go to the league. Like it's a lot, man. I think basketball is changing a lot. I think if the NCAA want to keep these kids, they got to change. Like something has to happen, man. Yeah. Something, whether they're paying players, which we've been talking about since I was in school. Something has to happen, or they're gonna lose a lot of kids because a lot of these kids growing up and they do have money problems. And they may be nice, or they may be okay instead of opportunity to go overseas and collect some money until it's time to go into the league. So it's tough. And like you said, man, a lot of these kids they maybe getting overlooked, go to a lower major school, a lower school, and then end up transferring. So I don't know, man. Something has to give, or it's gonna be a lot of that going on, and it's probably get worse. Honestly, that's my opinion.
All right, Cardo, you had any? That was your last question, Ray, Octavia. All right, so what we're gonna do is take our second break, and when we come back, Travis gonna stick around. We got a couple rapid fire questions, so you enjoy that. I don't know what Cardell cooked up for us this week, especially considering like there's only but so on in sports. So
we have so many options.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, how that works against us. But again, we got Travis Garrison on, just talking about his latest book, The Crossover. Get over to Think First. And we will be right back. You're watching the Focus TV.
How much time we got left, Will?
Give me 1 second. About to tell you, probably 5 questions, honestly. Yeah, the stream is tripping. I gotta upload this back like this. All right, folks. Welcome back to the Focus TV. As we said, Travis Garrison, think first. New book, The Crossover, is out. Definitely head over there, check that out. And again, Travis, thank you so much for spending time with us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
And then, Cardell, the floor is yours, rapid fire and whatnot. Let me go ahead and get out of the way.
With the tone, dog.
I was always so sad.
Man, be depressed, dog.
Look, man.
Hurry up, dog.
Look, man, I be inside all day. Then you talk about rapid fire. There's not that much going on.
Man, take your head out the window. My first question is a former Wizard, former All-Star, Jerry Stackhouse, recently said he was a better player than Michael Jordan when they both played for the Wizards, and that he lost some admiration for Jordan. His quote was, "Honestly, I wish I had never played with him in Washington for a number of reasons. I felt like we were on the way in Detroit when I got traded there, and it was really challenging to be able to be in a situation with an idol who at this particular point I felt like I was a better player. Things were still being run through Michael Jordan. I love Dog Collins, but that was an opportunity for him to make up for some ill moments that they may have had back in Chicago. We got off to a pretty good start, but I don't think he liked the way the offense was running because it was running a little bit more free. He wanted to get more isolations on the post, so we had more isolations for him on the post. It just kind of spiraled in a way that I didn't really enjoy that season at all. The kind of pictures that I had in my mind of Michael Jordan and the reverence that I had for him lost a little bit during the course of that year. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, that's 20 years ago, bro.
That's gonna be my question. Why did this even come up?
Who cares, man? Really, who cares? And what did he expect? It's Michael Jordan, man. If Michael Jordan stepped back on the NBA team today, he's gonna be the number one option. It's Mike. It's Mike. I listened to that whole podcast. It was a whole lot of salt on that thing, but whatever, man. Yeah, it's nobody cares, dog.
That's all I was wondering. What's the point of this coming up now?
Everybody, you already know what it is.
Yeah, it's you trying to just make yourself seem better. I was better than him. Jordan was 40 something. I'm stretching it at this point, but still, come on, man. I just feel like it's a little bit of clout chasing. You're just trying to make yourself sound better. Not saying that he was bad, but I just understand the point of even bringing this up. It's ridiculous.
You go ahead, Travis.
I did when I saw the title. I said it piqued my interest, and I ended up reading it and read that. Like you said, man, I was curious to see how that question even came about so long after. But yeah, he definitely felt some type of way, man. He definitely he definitely showed that. He definitely felt some type of way, man. And, he probably like you said, guy coming back that's a little older. Yeah, he MJ. But he probably felt as though he probably was the man at the time coming from Detroit, So, but like you said, like y'all said, man, saying it now, I'm curious to see why that even happened, I guess everybody wants everybody got the MJ story, So I guess everybody wanted to know the inside. Yeah, that's what it really is.
Hey, look, man. Courtesy of April 19th is a very popular time if you got stories, whether it's positive or negative. And right now, due to some folks not having original content at this moment, The negative stories are, they're doing the clicks, they're doing the views, they're getting people's attention, whatnot. Again, look, man, I know where I'm gonna be April 19th at 9 p.m. So it doesn't really matter to me.
Hey, my birthday the next day. My birthday on April 20th, so that's a pre-birthday gift, man. I'm glad he did that. I didn't get it for me, man. He did it for me, man. He did it for me. Pre-birthday gift.
That's a heck of a gift, sir.
I mean, with Stack, man, I can see what he's saying, honestly, because there was plenty of times where he looked his age at that time, just being real.
Sure.
But he also said that same thing about Philly when they drafted AR. You know what I'm saying? When and it's just typical Hooper. I feel like I'm the man. That's stuff we just talked about before the show, man. I just look at it as that, man. And it's not like he was a 8-point a game dude. He led league in scoring. He was a multiple-time All-Star. So he put in work, but like Dave Raymond said, this Mike, though, you gotta understand what it was, though. You know that coming in.
Somebody else.
You was naive to think it was gonna be different to the demand of the trade or something, man. So and then Mike went off, like, truth be told, and then Mike was doing his thing, and then he got hurt. So, and then that's what really messed up the Wizards that first year. They was on their way to the playoffs. They was doing their thing. So, I mean, he has some points, but like you said, man, it's 20 years later, though. It ain't let that go, man. So, this is based on. Here's another thing that actually, Travis, you talked about earlier. Imani Bates, 6'9" sophomore from Lincoln High School in Michigan. His name Gatorade National Boys Basketball Player of the Year earlier today. He's the first sophomore ever to do it. Bates beat out seniors Kate Cunningham, who signed to Oklahoma State, and C11 center Evan Mobley, who signed to USC. He's the top-ranked player in the 2022 class and projected #1 pick in 2023. I've seen him since he was a kid. He looked like KD Jr. It's sick. It's like, I might have to ask KD, man, you might want to get a blood test, dog. It's sick. It's sick how he played, man. But as a sophomore, he averaged 31.6 points, 9 rebounds, 2.6 assists a game. What does it say about this kid's potential that he's already National Gatorade Player of the Year, and he's just going into junior year?
Man, that's tough. Man. Dang, that's tough right there. That's kind of like DJ DeMar Johnson status, man. Hey, but that's tough, man. But it's one of those things. Whereas you reach that level, and I think he probably going to get that too, in the sense of I got that. So what can I do next year? What's my next year gonna look like? I got that this year. So it's like you gotta, as a kid, man. I mean, you just gotta learn. You gotta use some of the things as motivation, and not just live off the past accomplishment, but continue to move forward. Because everybody was coming at his head. A sophomore getting national player of the year like that, they're gonna be coming at us, but use that as motivation, and that's what makes great players great. They use that stuff and they're gonna do it again. Now, can you repeat that? And everybody's gonna be looking at him to see if he can do it again. That's just how it is. People that rank and talk and shout, they're gonna say, "Can he do it? Was it a fluke? Can he do it again?" So it's one of those things as an athlete you kind of use, and hopefully the people that surround around talking to him and giving them advice is giving them that talk, and not just like upping them up. Like, man, you gotta keep working. You can get better. Let's be better this year than we were last year.
Man, I think it's awesome. Like for him to put the show he put on, and I mean the on-court product speaks for itself, and to get recognized in that way, that's a good thing. And I mean, like Travis said, he's gonna have to come back strong next year because people won't be at his neck. But like we saw on the girls' side with Azzy, she won it as a sophomore. There wasn't too much anybody could say about it because she pretty much proved it. And she ran it back next year too. So hopefully Imani can do the same thing. But typically that does go to a senior. But if the best player is a sophomore, then it should go to a sophomore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I just like the fact that he was a sophomore, and it just shows that no matter your age or anything like that, like if you have the skill, that you will get recognized for it. So all those kids that think just because, I'm a senior, you're a freshman, I'm better than you, like that's not always the case. So it just really, to me, it just shows how much hard work he's put in to be able to come, be that type of player that early on in his life. Like they said, he just turned 16 in January. It's kids that are seniors in high school, 17, some of them being 18. Now they're looking like, dang, the 16-year-old kid, he's been working harder than me. And so that should put fire under everybody. The kids that he beat out and under him as well, because like you said, it's cool to win it, but then you got to feel like the next year, like, I can't lose it. I already won. Like, so then it's like you keep pushing to make sure that you win again next year. So I just think it's amazing that he was able to do it.
What I'm hoping and praying is that he had the right people around him, because like I said, you say he's projecting them on pick in 2023.
Yeah, he's straight though, because his pop's running everything. That's his trainer, that's his coach. So you gotta go through his pop, and his pop's a former hooper, so
okay,
you ain't getting him.
That's good, man.
He's straight. That's why he is. He is. Yeah.
Right,
that's why he's as good as he is. So he. Another basketball question. We're gonna switch it to football before we end it. Actually, a local kid who finished his high school career down in North Carolina, Isaiah Todd. He's originally from Baltimore. He committed to Michigan, but he decommitted to turn pro. So he will have details on where he's going soon. We don't know if he's going straight overseas or he's going to possibly try to see what's up with the G League. We don't know, but he's not going to college. He already signed with the agent. His mother said this was a tough decision for him, but he just feels like this is what's best for him and his development. We love Michigan and Juwan Howard, but at the end of the day, he has to make the best decision for him. People say the news doesn't come as a total shock. Ty has been quiet and remained open to the idea of turning pro for quite some time. He released a statement saying, "My dream has always been to play in the NBA. I just feel like this route will help my game grow even more. I want to be as prepared as possible when the time comes. This is a no-brainer for me." He's a 6'10" forward, highly athletic, has a lot of skill. What do you think? I mean, RJ Hampton just put it off. LaMelo Ball put it off last year together. What are your thoughts on him making the jump?
I don't know him personally, but just hearing everything that you said about him, I mean, like you said, man, honestly, I just think it's going to get worse. I think since they can't make that jump to the NBA, the next best thing is, I know these dudes, I just saw somebody get 100,000 over there. I probably get that. Look what LaMelo Ball just did. Like you said, you have examples of people that actually did it, were successful at doing it. One of my teammates that I played with, Mike Taylor, back in the days was the first D-League player to get drafted from the D-League. So a lot of dudes, I see other guys do it, and they're like, "Oh, man, I could do the same thing." Plus, and imagine if they're going through money time as a family, instead of going through the hassle of what they see that kid from Memphis went through, got eligible, had to miss half of his year. So they seeing the dudes that went there. Yeah, so it's like, if I can avoid that and just get some money real quick until it's time for me to get to the league, I'm going to do that. I mean, you've been adult quick. They want that money, and especially if it's available and it's offered. I mean, man, so I mean, you can't fault them. Honestly, you can't.
And you compete against real pros, and you compete against pros every night. You know what I'm saying? So
you really gonna be ready. You're gonna be getting that.
You're right. I can't blame them.
And I mean, as long as they ready, and as long as now you can't jump out there if you ain't ready, and you can't do that. But if you think you're ready, and you have that skill, and you get that good offer, I mean, why not? You know what I mean? Why not, man? Especially where NCAA is, man. You get caught up in anything, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like,
everybody else?
Yeah, I think, if you're ready, you can handle it. Why not? Like, if your goal is to go pro, then you don't need to go to school just for the 1 year. Like, especially if you're as talented a kid as he is. But being ready is a big part of it. Like, that overseas grind is everybody ain't built for that.
Different.
Yeah. So so yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a learning curve. It's gonna be a culture shock. Hopefully he got good people in place and things around him to help him navigate through that. But yeah, like I don't see an issue with it at all. Like I applaud those young guys for taking the ultimate route. And like you said, man, the NCAA gonna have to figure something out because especially with I don't know if y'all watched that the doc on HBO, The Scheme.
I heard about that. I said,
But like,
I got to watch it.
Yeah, it's just that. I mean, it's going to take a while for things to kind of shift towards a society where the NCAA is an afterthought, because I mean they just had a stranglehold on that for so long. But people are looking for other avenues to fulfill their professional dreams, and if you can do it successfully, then go ahead, take the leap. And like you said, Cardell, you get a whole year of playing against professional players, that's going to just make you even more prepared when you're ready to go to the NBA.
Anybody else?
I mean, I was
Said everything.
yeah. As long as they're prepared, got good people around them. I mean, wish them the best. And this is the thing, like all the names you guys mentioned, we're seeing more and more every year. Like this is becoming like, you remember when the Brandon Jennings thing seemed so far away and like such a crazy idea, like, oh my gosh. And now we're here to the point. Yeah. Where you remember all the horrible things they were saying about Moutier, like, oh my goodness, what's the kid doing? And now we're at a place where, again, like, and for all the people that think negatively against this, I would say if it's another field, even if you're a school for something to get a degree, if you can get high quality on the job training, who's going to tell you not to? Who's going to tell you don't take that, take that opportunity? If you check all the boxes and it fits, it's on the job training. Some of these guys, they're coming from Europe already. Some of these youngsters where, for whatever reason, people keep putting biases in their mind. These dudes are pros since they're 15, 16. They're vets by the time they get here. Yeah, we sat there and watched all these horrible, I'm trying to find a better word for idiot, but I guess I'm going to say idiot, for the people that just trashed on Luka for no reason, where, again, we saw Luka, we saw Tony Parker, like, you're getting graduate level training at that age. How is it negative? Long as your support systems.
But that was more about Luka being white. That was more about him having the wrong skin color.
No. I got you, but I'm just saying, like, just from where it first started with, period, just like that line of thinking. Yeah, obviously with the skin color, but we even still have some folks looking at these kids like they're crazy for going this route because it's against the big bad NCAA. When if one of those two things is going to prepare you better for the next level, how are we going to get mad at the person choosing what's going to prepare them best?
Okay, and Travis know this because he was he was in that mix in high school. The top tier kids are not the average high school player. You know what I'm saying? Like they're playing against the same competition year round. The best that high school brands we have to offer. Especially these days, they're being groomed, especially with social media now. You have no idea who he has access to that's giving them game behind the scenes and giving them information from the NBA side of things. So this doesn't apply to all high school players. You know what I'm saying? Like Joe, no disrespect, Joe Blow from my old high school, Friendly High School, he ain't going overseas. They're not even gonna look at him. They're not gonna offer him. He can't even take the practices. He'll break down because he's like, this is too hard. I'm going back home. You know what I'm saying? But the thing I caution on these kids is once you make that move, you become a pro, you judge like a grown man. And that's when they're not gonna hold your hand. Nope. They look, man, I gotta feed my family. So you either gonna be ready or you're not. You gotta sit down. So that's just a hard reality that they have to understand. And it's not, they don't care about your feelings. You can get the hell up out of here, whatever. We gonna keep on. So that's the only thing they gotta have that mindset that I'm gonna have to grind. And leave that, you're not the man no more. And no one's catering to you. So as long as they understand that reality, they'll be fine. Next question. Panthers running back Christian McCaffrey signed a 4-year extension, averaging $16 million per year, making him the highest paid running back in NFL history. What are your guys' thoughts on that move?
Hey man, he set the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, but what do you do for them? I'm always an advocate. If you got the money to pay him, and he's been a vital part of your offense or of your defense or your team, period, pay him. Because I mean, like a lot of the games that they played last year, they wouldn't have won without him. Like I single-handedly lost my fantasy game because of him. like single-handedly. Like he had like 80 points. I was like,
I knew it. Look, that's why I was quiet. I knew it. Oh, I knew it.
Because you know the game I'm talking about.
I know.
It was ridiculous. I was in like the finals in my fantasy league, and I was like, for real? So Christian McCaffrey really just gonna get like 80 points by himself? Like, I'm not doing this. So, I mean, I always say if they got the money to do it and they feel like the player deserves it, which I definitely feel like he's deserving of it. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, I agree. You know, it's like you said, is setting it up for other running backs that's helping their teams and that's really successful getting that type of money. They get that type of money, you know. So I mean, it's always good for the game, you know, when guys get especially when you take a pounding like that, especially in the NFL, man. You gotta get as much as you can, especially with running backs with their career span. You know, you gotta get as much as you can, as fast as you can. Quarterbacks, they're gonna get paid. You know, they're gonna get their money, but when running backs get their money, man, get it quick because, like you said, they got X amount of years. They get in the league. They 3 to 5 years. So you know, you just gotta get it while you can, especially like you saying, if they help your team to be successful. I think it's just good for the game. You know, owners gotta pay them guys, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Anybody else? What? Well, you know, of course he should get paid. I mean, you know, he's the son of a Broncos legend. Come on, man. But
I mean, who had a better year than him last year as far as running back?
you know what I'm saying? So, but nah, he balling, man. He's one of the rare running backs in the game that's an every down back. He can do it all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it's kind of, you saw the NFL the last few years kind of gear their offense towards two backs. You know, you running back for the first two downs and somebody for the third down or whatever. He does it all, and his workload. Exactly with his workload. I mean, he's kind of, to me, probably the closest thing we saw to a guy that gave me hell, LaDainian Tomlinson back in the day, with his versatility, his skill set, and everything like that. With everything he could do, he's probably the closest thing we have in the NFL to that. So of course and then you lost Cam and all that. It's a no-brainer. You can't afford to piss him off and then lose him. That you just really at the bottom, like trash. And that fan base, especially coming out of just the business side, coming out of this climate, whenever we come out of it that we're currently in, that would just be suicide. That'd be a dumb business deal. And you know, I at least applaud them for taking care of their horse, man. At least they did that. You know, some other franchises, you know, like in Texas, playing games. You know, I was gonna get to that next, but I'm gonna be quiet. You know, we have a Cowboy fan here. You shaking his head.
Oh wow.
The one that just finally revealed himself. I'm sorry.
Oh, y'all got jokes. Y'all got jokes today. But yeah, you had to pay him. There's everybody else that was worth paying. They either retired or you didn't retain them. So the best player on your team, you got to pay him. Cardell, you brought up LT. Yeah, I think for me, just like his workload, what he did for them, he kind of reminds me. And again, I got to say this slow because y'all about to take something I say and do way too much with this statement. He reminds me kind of how the Rams used Falk during that time where he was just doing everything every 10 seconds. Yeah, he was touching the ball. Yeah, he was just touching the ball. And I mean, the good news is while these dudes are making questionable decisions, you got somebody that's gonna still fill up the stands. You're gonna come out and see him. Watching a lot of folks talk about he shouldn't have got paid, all this other stuff. Look, man, it's set up for running backs with the NFL. Take your issues up with the owner, the NFLPA, and the structure of their contracts that aren't fully guaranteed. But yeah, he got his money. It is what it is. What Tennessee's choosing to do to Derrick Henry is criminal, but again, they're allowed to do it. So just like the Carolina Panthers were allowed to pay Christian McCaffrey, so it's Tennessee. I mean, but again, this is the market that we're in. It's the climate in the league that we're in right now. Let the man cook. You got paid. It is what it is. Like you brought up the Texans. Some organizations value some of their talent, their top-notch talent. Some teams, you throw them away for, half-eaten bologna sandwiches, some old tube socks, and I don't like them. So I'm going to get at you guys next year. But I want to say, again, Travis, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to see you guys next week. And also, April 19th, man, enjoy your Sunday night Hope y'all enjoy it. I know we're gonna enjoy it. Man, I'm not gonna spoil nothing. That's all I got to say. Here this guy go. Hey, look, see, don't even worry about it. Wait till you listen to what music the show's opening with next week.
Uh-oh.
Good old 90s intro music from the Bulls. But all right, again, Travis.
Hey, you know that was my joint too.
I just can't wait to see the faces of these talking heads that can high on other players saying they're the best ever, and we know what this is about to do.
Yeah.
And then what they're gonna say afterwards. And how they gonna
they're gonna find something to say though.
Look, man.
No, we ain't accepting no plea deals. They're gonna own that.
Hey,
They're gonna have something to say.
They will find a new way to cop a new plea.
They will.
It's what they do.
No pleas, full prosecution. No plea deals.
Michael was so mean. He was so mean to his team.
I'm telling you, that's what it's gonna be.
You want to know what? There's a lot of really nice guys in the Hall of Fame during that time that he played. Couple things missing. Pockets a little lighter. So, you can have that, and that's great. And I'm sure someone somewhere appreciates it. Rings. Cool. Result-based business. See you guys next week. This is Focus TV.
Right. I appreciate you, man.
No problem. Thank you. I'm gonna just get